delighted to say that thanks to the wonderful coordination between One Championship and the authorities here in Singapore, we have a limited audience in the Singapore Indoor Stadium. COVID restrictions in full effect, but plenty of people here ready to enjoy the action. Siawei throwing the first damage. Nrotana with his back up against the circle wall.
Siawei is being very aggressive with his hands, immediately backing Nrotana up. It's going to be the kicks of Rotana against those hands of Siawei.
We got the first glimpse of that kick there, Mitch, didn't we? There's another one just across the midriff, but that first one banged into the upper left thigh of Siawei.
Nrotana does have black belts in both Taekwondo and Hapkido, so you can expect him to really try to lean on that kicking prowess.
Nrotana just planted a decent right hand in on Siawei's chin as he moved in. And that's a good stiff jab from him as well.
You can see Nrotana is carrying his hands very low, but when he does feel that engagement coming from Siawei, he does get those hands up to deflect some of those shots.
Managed to lean out of the way just beautifully. The economy of effort to make sure that he didn't move too far, extend too much energy, just made Siawei miss enough to tire him out. Can be very tiring when all you hit is air.
Siawei's got his hands clasped together, but he's choosing to utilize shoulder strikes and foot stomps just to do a little bit of damage to Nrotana inside that clinch.
Yeah, those foot stomps on the top of the foot there, that bone on top of the foot where the metatarsals are, just trying to disrupt the flow, cause some minor irritating injuries. They can be more than irritating, mind you. Brings up the knee to the waist.
Yeah, man, those hurt, man. Those are not fun to land on you.
Mild irritation, not the phrase to use.
Granted, Nrotana has kicked so many things in his life, those feet are probably just like iron bars down there.
At the moment, he's got his back to the circle wall. And the attempt to take him down, he does very well to stay upright. If anything, it was Siawei who was struggling to stay on his feet for a while there, but they go down to the mat, and it's Rotana who has his back.
Yeah, Nrotana looked very relaxed inside that clinch, even though Siawei had double underhooks, and that usually gives you a very good advantage in drawing your opponent to the ground.
Just past the halfway mark in this opening round. 3 5s in mixed martial arts, flyweight division.
This is where Siawei has done a lot of damage, especially in One Hero series. We saw him get on top, get in this half guard position, and just do so much damage in ground and pound.
Siawei has his hand on Nrotana's face. Rotana is complaining that the fingers are in the mouth there, which he didn't like. He's just annoying all the time, isn't he?
He's causing damage, you know, the foot stomps, the shoulder bumps. And he's trying, I don't think he's necessarily trying to stick his fingers in the mouth of Nrotana, but he's definitely trying to disrupt the breathing pattern of Nrotana by covering his mouth up.
Covering his mouth, good ploy.
But he did, you know, he was able to use it to pass into side control. And now he's got that arm locked up on one side, and he can just do a lot of ground and pound, especially if he can get this crucifix position.
For a while there, I thought he was working hard on Nrotana's right arm to try and just get it into a position that would cause some problems, but he seems to have given up on that for now.
Yeah, he's got the overhook on Nrotana's left arm, and he's trying to take Nrotana's left arm and shove it underneath his legs so he can get that crucifix and really start letting go of some ground and pound.
Then you're really exposed if the man on top of you is just lying on both of your arms. You've got nothing to defend you except your legs. Nrotana seeing whenever he can to bring up his legs to try and create a change in the balance, but it's Siawei's legs that are sometimes making contact with Nrotana's head.
But Nrotana's doing a good job of kneeing from the bottom. That's what he had to do. He had to get that arm free to create that scramble, and he does a good job of doing that.
He squeezed all the way out, but he does get to his feet, and to the applause of the fans at Circle Side here. Such a delight to have a live audience here enjoying the action, along with everyone at home.
Upper body clinch battle, but Siawei wins it with a beautiful knee tap takedown. He was able to drive forward and complete the takedown.
Yeah, good little tap and use of the weight. Final 10 seconds of this opening round then.
That's a dominant round for Siawei. Rotana looked good on his feet for the first half of that round.
And he threw a big punch from way back there, completely missed Rotana's head, and it drove into the canvas. He then followed up with another one, and exactly the same thing happened. It's pretty good if you can evade punches when you're back on the mat.
Look at this. Misses with the big left hook, but follows it up with the right hand. Rotana back sway up against that circle wall. And then here's that. The things you call annoying, I call them effective because they are landing. Nice little foot stomp with the shoulder bump, and then he was trying to work into this crucifix. He did a good job of controlling the top position, but also landing a lot of elbows and ground and pound along the way.
For all of the youthful exuberance that Siawei will have at 24 years old, he is dealing with a man who has a lot of experience there. Spent half of his life competing in combat sports. Martial arts is very much his home.
Round 2, go!
One of One Championship's longest servants. Great to see him back in the circle, and he starts the second round in impressive, energetic fashion. Has to be careful though, because that right hand can be snuck in.
Yes, Siawei does not want to give Rotana this space. When he's at kicking range, he is the most dangerous.
Big right hand from Rotana though, Mitch, there.
He tried to close that distance and got caught with the right. Rotana is feeling himself on the feet.
That could well have been the cleanest punch of the battle so far, and he landed again very nicely with that right hand out of that orthodox stance. Does a 360 from air kick, and the second time he's done that, and with a spinning little back kick from Siawei as well. So these two spinning and grinning. Who's going to be winning? Another right hand that comes in, and it looks big, that right hand from Rotana. Gets his full shoulder behind that. Certainly no flicking punch, that one. It lands heavy. Chin nicely tucked in there, showing a lot of movement from the waist up, Rotana. In comparison, Siawei's quite static from the waist up, isn't he? Just kind of plods forward, gets caught again from the right hand and then the left jab. Siawei needs to close that guard up a little bit because Rotana packs some power.
Yeah, he's got to be careful entering into that pocket. He's trying to get tight, but as he's doing so, he's getting touched up by Rotana. Siawei
Giving ground, Mitch.
has to realize at this point that he is a lot more effective when he's inside that clinch and inside the grappling exchange, because on the feet right now, Rotana is working magic.
He is loving throwing that right hand. There it is again. This time didn't get the full body weight behind it. He didn't turn into it. He kind of lunged forward with it, almost led with it. Oh, the big flash of legs as they come together. And Siawei's the one that ended up on his back, but he sprung up again. Starting to breathe a little bit heavily now, Rotana. Throwing of these big blows, clearly taking it out of him. Boxing open mouth. Siawei gets that leg up nice and high. Hasn't quite got the thickness across the body of his opponent though. May not be able to punch with quite as much power as the very experienced Rotana.
Well, this is that strength and conditioning program that Rotana was talking about. He says he's developed a lot more power and a lot more explosiveness, especially when it comes to throwing the hands.
Quite a way off with that kick, but he really throws it. Oh, slamming kick to Rotana's right thigh. A good, solid, stiff jab.
But what he's doing with that big roundhouse kick is he's kind of keeping the distance that, you know, away from Siawei. Siawei doesn't want to step into that pocket because he doesn't want to get caught by one of those massive head kicks.
Siawei moves from orthodox to southpaw and back again. Quite square on from the waist up.
Come on.
It's hard sometimes to tell whether he's jabbing or crossing. Goes with a little left uppercut. Digs in one to the body and then a left to the head, followed up by another left to the head. And as this second round moves on, Siawei is really starting to come into his own. Is this where we turn the corner in terms of cardio and freshness and the promise of youth?
But he can definitely see those kicks coming and he's able to evade. Now he's starting to close that distance.
He really is. That was a nice left hand. Chandratana's receiving a little bit more than he did in the first round and the early part of this second. Matches can just turn suddenly, can't they? And we may be seeing that now. Again, the foot stomp. Oh, the elbow to the side of the head. This is developing into a really nice round for COA.
Like that counter right hand he's throwing. But Chandratana answers right back.
Still looks fresh, doesn't he? Oh, stumbled a little bit there and gives a little bit of a smile. That swinging kick a few times has been well off the mark from Chandratana.
But you can see that COA might be able to evade the head kick, but his legs are still in the same position. I'd like to see Chandratana just keep going back to that leg kick. I think he'd be a lot more effective if he starts attacking the legs.
Quite a different round, that second one from the first. Plenty of action, Mitch.
But he landed that head kick right there. That was at the very beginning of the round. And COA was like, I do not want to eat another one of those. And he was able to get his head out of the way of most of the extra oncoming shots. But that stiff round, that stiff jab was just landing over and over again. Now you got to keep this in mind that first part of that round, Chandratana was very successful. But then as the match wore on, as we started to get later and later into that round, COA started to find success with his hands. So I think it's anybody's game. I really think it's going to come down to this third and final round.
For sure. Don't judge that second round by the highlights we saw there. Good work with the leg, good work with the right hand from Chandratana. But COA worked his way back into that second round and probably nicked it. Not that we're scoring this bout round by round. The judges will look at the full 15 minutes and determine the overall winner therefrom. And what great respect, as we so often see in the One Championship circle at the beginning of this final round. They embrace each other and then back onto the breach. Left hand from COA drives Chandratana backwards, and he replies with a big slapping kick to the ribcage. Just the first 20 seconds of this third round, and already the action is pretty intense. Will the cardio continue to stay in place for Chandratana? Will the younger man come to the fore? Starting to look a little bit ragged now for Chandratana.
He doesn't quite have the same balance when he throws that lead leg front kick, or the leg kick rather, but there with a back leg roundhouse kick to the legs, he's always accurate.
COA looking to get closer and closer and land the big bomb whenever he can now. Still intense focus from the Cambodian though.
That's Chandratana's money shot. That rear leg roundhouse to the leg of COA. He can hit that all night long if he wants to.
Could be that as they came into this third and final round that it was very even. Maybe Jan having the edge over the 10 minutes, but the tide is turning. Second half of that second round, and what we're seeing so far in the third is really opening the door towards a COA victory. And it is done now. He got Chandratana on his back and then did not let up. And he's walking around that One Championship circle with great delight now. That's a big accomplishment for him.
Wow, COA carrying that power into the third round. Look at this, off of the 2, the 3 comes along and puts Chandratana down. Jumps all over the grounded pound. Referee Yuji Shimada was forced to jump in and call a halt to the action, but the Hunter goes head hunting. Look at that beautifully timed left hook as Chandratana goes down and the grounded pound follows.
Absolute peach of a left hook, wasn't it? So difficult to tell if it's a left hook or just an overhand left, because he switches his stance so fluidly. But either way, there's big power in that left hand, as indeed there is in the right. Big win for Siete.
Ladies and gentlemen, this match was presented to you by Xiaomi. And now, your referee has called a stop to this contest for your winner by way of technical knockout.
Very, very impressive win from Wei.